Please don't do drugs. Drugs can kill you.
My name is Addiction. This is my story. Many people don't understand anything about me. Many people don't understand why I become addicted to drugs, sex, alcohol, food, and more. And particularly, I want to focus on my drug and alcohol addiction to explain a little bit more about my identity. Many people mistakenly think that I use drugs because I have a lack of moral principles and I have no willpower. And that is true. However, it's very hard for me to stop my addiction. I choose to continue an addiction because it's a complex disease, and quitting usually takes so many intentions, and my strong will is so tainted at times. And alcohol and drugs change my brain, and it makes it really difficult for me to stop, even when I want to. Research suggests that drugs affect the brain, and that treatment should help me recover from these addictions and lead a productive life. But it's just not that simple. The addiction has taken control of me. And many times I'm completely compulsive and impulsive, and I find it difficult to understand that I will have consequences immediately after. Despite that things are harmful sometimes, I just don't care. I choose to use drugs and alcohol voluntarily. And most people that I hang out with or associate myself with do the same repeated actions. And it makes it even more difficult. And I continue to repeat my behaviors of drug use and alcohol use, and it continues to lead my brain to ultimately not make any changes, and it challenges me, and I continue to be addicted. I have no self-control, and it interferes with my ability to resist these urges. My brain changes, and it's a persistent issue. My addiction is obviously a disease, and I continue to relapse. I wish people would understand. Most people in recovery relapse over and over again until finally something happens and a shift and a change occurs. But something drastic has to happen. It's not that easy to just change. It's a common issue, and relapse is my best friend at times because I don't know how to manage my issues, my addictions, my behaviors, my anxieties, my depression, my hallucinations, all these things that I might be having problems with from time to time, and I choose to hide it with my addiction. All these great treatment plans that they give you when you go into rehab and try to beat the addiction, and they modify these treatment plans over and over again, and I just feel like they just don't work. But is it because I'm not in it, or is it because they really don't work? You have to question this. I question it. I mean, after all, what happens to my brain when these drugs and alcohol take over? Most of these issues are very difficult to deal with because the euphoria makes me want to do it all over again. The flood of the chemical that brings messages to my brain, the dopamine. I just want it again and again so I can properly function without the nervous recklessness that I have inside me. And I continue to repeat my behaviors. I simply don't know how to change them. I eat sometimes in the morning, at night, throughout the nights. My patterns of eating are horrific. I have severe anxiety. My depression escalates. And as soon as I stop the addiction, it starts all over again. My mind just doesn't stop. So why should I give up my addiction? This is what most people don't understand. While I'm trying to change and better myself, it's very difficult. They give me all kinds of drugs to feel better, to change my behaviors and my patterns. But do they not understand that I become addicted to these pills, these changes that they so think are helping me, are destroying me? I wish there was a different remedy. I continue to use drugs and alcohol because my brain adapts to reducing these issues and these symptoms that I have. It reduces everything. And compared to living in a life that makes me feel horrible, I much rather hide behind my addiction. It makes me feel so much better. I'm not deprived of anything when I'm in my addiction. I don't feel anything. I don't have any emotions, and I'm okay with it. I turn to sex, food, and more alcohol, and more drugs, and more activities that are reckless. It's just my life. It's the way I want to live it. I know no other way. I don't know how to get out of it. This long-term issue causes my brain complete dysfunction. I don't have the ability to learn a new way. And people judge me. I make horrible decisions. My stress is high, my memory fails, and my behaviors are out of control. Despite what everyone thinks, I'm still a human being, and I deserve to have a different life. I wish I could get rid of this addiction. But why do we become addicted to some drugs and alcohol? Why? Why can't we change this lifestyle and we consume ourselves with drugs and alcohol? Is it a combination of the influences of the people around us that lead us to these addictions? Is it really the biology, the genetic disposition that we have that influences these addictions? Is it my environment? Could it be the influence of my environment? The factors that peer pressure has set in, or physical abuse, or even sexual abuse, or early exposure to drugs, parental guidance that wasn't even available, the stress of life, and I happened to turn to drugs and alcohol because I had no other remedy? It's critical that as a child, I would have had the proper developmental stages so that I can grow in a different direction. And obviously, if I didn't have a good parental guidance or a good father figure, mother figure, or any guidance, then what do you expect of me? After all, that is why my name is addiction. So why do you judge me? Because I make horrible decisions and I have no self-control and I continue to do risky things? How could I prevent this if I had no outlets? And I feel unsuccessful when I try to manage my addiction and recover and change it for life. I feel lost in treatment approaches. I feel lost with co-occurring issues such as depression, anxiety. Sometimes I feel schizophrenic. I have no idea who I am. Is my name really addiction? Or is it something much more greater than that I can't pinpoint? How can I prevent using drugs and alcohol to the extent that I do? How can I stop myself? Tell me, what have you done? What can you do to prevent this? It's a chronic illness. I'm compulsive. Despite of the fact that I try to change myself, my brain doesn't allow me. I have these intense urges to take drugs, and I just keep relapsing. I realize that I need more than just treatment. I need more to help my brain change. How can I access more? If I just feel so depressed at times, and other times, I just do things that are horrible. I steal, I lie, I cheat, I rape, I even kill. And sometimes I do this to my own family. I am physically violent, sexually violent. Sometimes I stalk people, and I'm psychologically aggressive. My victims have no faces. I don't really care what they look like. I do what I must to feed my addiction. Unfortunately, many people get hurt along the way. I remember lying to my mom, stealing from my mom. I lie to my dad. I steal from my dad. I've hurt my spouse. I beat her. I punch her. I hurt her. And sometimes I even become sexually violent if she doesn't want to be with me. I've even killed people just to get my next high. So tell me, how do I change this? How can I prevent myself from doing horrible things to my family, my friends, the people that love me and care for me? But yet, why do I feel so alone in this world? Is it because they don't understand me? Is it because they never will, because they've never been there? Because they don't have this disorder? Or am I having a pity party? Am I continuing to have a pity party? The poor old me syndrome? And I just can't get out of this party? This pity party that's taken over me? Well, I can just say that according to real life, I have done some horrible things. I remember one time I just wanted to keep drinking, and my wife did not want me to drink anymore. She wanted to leave me. I refused to have her leave me. I didn't want her to leave. Why should she? After all, she belongs to me, so I thought. Because alcohol exacerbated my symptoms of violence and my tendencies to be controlling and abusive, and continue to do it over and over again. Where does she think she's going? She should just sit there and take it and deal with everything that I have to offer. Because I am addiction, and I am violent and controlling, and I have no justification for my behaviors. I am manipulative. I am a narcissist, and I will get exactly what I want when I want. Because I have low self-esteem, I'm jealous, I'm angry most of the time, and I feel as if no one ever listens to me and no one cares. So why should I care about you? Have you ever stopped to think about me and what I'm going through? And how sad I feel at times? How I've been abused as a child? The majority of my issues come from my childhood. So, how do I claim my childhood back when it's gone? It's dead, and so am I. I am dead inside. Something happened to me, and you just don't see it. Was it the loss of a parent? Was it sexual? Was it violence? Or was it a genetic disposition? And who are you to judge me why I am the way I am? While drugs and alcohol create a lack of acceptance in life, does not mean that I love being this way. It's an issue. I am intoxicated and I don't want to resolve the issue because it's too difficult to face. The stress that I endure inside my mind is much easier to handle when I don't have to cope with it. When I can just turn my face and hide behind my drink or my drugs. And reasoning is not something I want to use. I don't want to rationalize my behavior. You will never understand me. No matter what I do, you will never understand why I am addiction. But I would like to encourage you to get to know me a little bit better and be more loving and understanding to what I've been through and to possibly what you've been through. Who's to say that you haven't been through the same things or probably even worse? So many men and women are going through so many issues with addiction. Sometimes people even hide their drinks or drugs inside their closets, their drawers, their dressers, anywhere where no one could know that they even have an addiction. This is very difficult to live with. I have to hide myself on a constant basis. Sometimes I decide I want to take pills, and sometimes I want to use an injection. Why are you judging my illness? It hurts me. It breaks my heart to know that you are judging my addiction. If you could be more understanding, then maybe, just maybe, I can make a real change. Of course, being that I would be serious about my change. After all, it's very difficult to make a change when you have no support. Having support is the most vital thing that I can have at this time. I don't have support. I don't have friends. I don't have family. I know it's my fault. I lost them all because of my addiction, because I stole from them, because I lied to them, because I abused them, and they turned their back on me. But can I blame them? Can I truly blame them? After all, I just did all the things that no one should do to someone they love. But I'm ready to take responsibility, and I'm ready to accept that I have a problem. I have an issue, and I need to recover. I don't want to be physically abusive. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be sleep deprived. I don't want to hurt people anymore. I don't want to rape anyone. I don't want to kill anyone. I want to regain my life back. I don't want addiction to take over me any longer. I don't want to use alcohol. I don't want to use drugs. Please understand that I am trying my best to change. I don't want to take these tranquilizers, these sedatives, these painkillers that have controlled my life for years and years to come. I want to lead a different life. I want to apologize to everyone I've ever hurt. I am so sorry that I hurt you. I am so sorry that I was violent. I am so sorry that I sexually transmitted a disease to you. I am so sorry that I injected a needle in your arm. I am so sorry that I kept bringing you to the bottle to drink more and more. I am so sorry because my name is addiction and I know nothing else. I wish I did. I would love to be able to help you recover from these issues and this illness and encourage you that substance use and substance abuse is not the way to go anymore. That prostituting yourself to make money and exchange your body for drugs is not the solution. That preventing yourself from being sexually active with just anyone will promote more self esteem. I want to tell you that it will get better. I know it's difficult because I understand. After all, my name is addiction. Who would know you better than I? I understand that drugs and alcohol have taken over your life and that your sexual acts are not something you truly want to do, but they're acts of just trying to get through this issue. I understand that you might have had sex partners, multiple sex partners, prostitution. Maybe you even made videotapes while having sex, and now it's gotten out, and you don't know how to destroy it because it's already too late. Maybe you've been abused, and if you're a victim of all these issues, know that love and healing is here for you. And you must let go of the addiction in order for this to happen. In order for this to occur, you must learn to cope with sexual abuse and the issues that come from it. After all, these painful memories are linked to your addiction. And stopping these issues would only be encouraged by stopping the addiction. If you've been sexually assaulted or raped, I'm sorry. That's very difficult to cope with. Allow yourself to get some help, the help that you need. Coping is very difficult for sexual assault. It can be changed. There are so many ways to get the proper treatment and create a different you. I understand because I too have suffered from abuse. And this is why my name is addiction. The stigma of addiction hinders my growth. People will never understand because they blame me, they shame me, and they isolate me. And these negative feelings that I have inside me are exactly the reason I continue the same behaviors over and over again. I want to change desperately. I understand the dangers of changing my life. I want to take full responsibility. I want to stop the alcohol and the drugs. I really do. I really do. I know that deep down inside, there's something greater inside of me. But what do I do when all of a sudden I turn and the next corner you see crack cocaine? And I just want to do it all over again. It helps me forget the pain that I have inside. It helps me forget the assaults, the abuse, the rape, anything that I've endured that has caused me pain. I seek more just to be able to escape my reality. I don't enter into this because I want to. I just don't know how to change it. And I feel like a broken record. And I will continue to be a broken record because that's exactly what's happening in my life. It's very difficult for me to make a change when my own family has walked out on me. I feel a delusion Every time I try to change something about my life and let go of the victimhood, something else occurs. I remember a time I was sexually being trafficked as a young woman, and this experience of abuse had me in a cycle of addiction that I just can't get out of. And when I tell you that my name is addiction, I am faced with many of these obstacles. I've been beaten. I'm a man that's been abused by my wife. I'm everything you could think of. I am a child that's been abused emotionally, sexually, by my father and my mother, who both were alcoholics and drug addicts. And how do you want me to get out of this? How do you want me to stop this addiction? Everyone around me is addicted. My mom is an addict. My father's an addict. My sister's an addict. My brother's an addict. My grandfather's an addict. My grandmother's an addict. And the list goes on. And because of this, the cycle never stops. I want to break the chains. I want to stop the intoxication. I really do. I'm just a deprived child. I want to change my life. So I started to turn to others. I turned to the homeless to see what I can say to them. Why are you here? I am homeless because of drugs. I don't know what else to say to you, but I can say this. I was in prison too. I've been a sex slave, and now I am homeless. How can you be on the streets this long? How do you do it? Prostitution, incarceration has changed my life. These barriers have been an issue all my life. I am lonely, I am ashamed, I have fear, anger, lack of control, confusion, self-blame. I'm in denial. I'm in constant denial. And many people only discourage me more. The social stigma of my disorder is a moral issue. Society expresses sympathy, but they don't really do anything about it. They're too busy with their own lives. And when you talk, they act like they're listening, but they're not really listening. Most of the treatment facilities just want to make money. I come in and out of treatment, and they turn my insurance into a complete joke because after 30 days or 90 days, I need to leave treatment to then come back in again just so they can recharge my insurance company. This has been an epic issue in the United States forever. And they're not taking responsibility. Oh, well, maybe some people are. I know that some people have been arrested for fraud, for insurance fraud. But here's the trick. I am so unreliable, who's going to believe me? I have memory issues, I have side effect issues, I'm drowsy, I'm lethargic, and if not, I'm on drugs or I am drinking. How does this make me a credible person when I speak? It doesn't. It just doesn't. And since my memory is so blurry, who's going to believe that what I have to say about treatment facilities is true at all? After all, who would report any incident when no one is going to believe them? Not even a judge will believe anything I have to say. And these fears keep me in the cycle because I'm so afraid to speak up about anything that goes on, including abuse in the treatment facilities, threaten my life. I get hurt, I've been abused, and I've seen people die from overdoses because treatment facility owners are literally re entering these patients so that they can make more money, and they're causing the relapses themselves. But don't take my word for it. I'm simply a victim of addiction. A victim of addiction that's been in a cycle because treatment is false hope. Treatment is not working. Treatment is simply a cycle to do it again, to endure the abuse of the treatment facility all over again. I'm not saying treatment doesn't work for everyone. That's not what I'm saying here. I understand that treatment works for many people. Unfortunately, treatment hasn't worked for me because treatment has been false hope. These treatment facilities have kept me in the loop on purpose so that I can continue to use drugs. Oh, now they have to discharge me because my insurance ran out. Oh, but you can come back now so that we can start the cycle all over again. But in the meantime, we can't take you back unless you relapse. Therefore, you must relapse to be able to come back. This cycle is what keeps people in the cycle. In the cycle of prostitution, drug use, and the fear of having no home. Homelessness is also the number one issue with addiction. I like to say that things would change, but it's very difficult for me to see beyond the fog when I am in this cycle of addiction treatment facilities. This barrier is what causes me to struggle over and over again. And when is society going to see this? When is society going to realize that these treatment facilities are abusing their patients, abusing us as patients, abusing the fact that we are a vulnerable population that needs help, just like children, just like the elderly. There needs to be some kind of act for this vulnerable population because we are being abused over and over in the treatment facilities. The system is broken. And as long as this system is broken, I will never overcome my addictions. This regular use of alcohol and drugs to be able to get back into treatment is pathetic. In order for me to prevent myself from using alcohol or drugs again, I need true help. I need people that really care. I need a treatment facility that's authentic, that's really making a change and making a difference in people's lives, not just taking their money. I am not a dollar sign. I am a human being with rights. And these rights are not being honored. And this treatment program that I'm in and that I'm constantly in and out of is abusing my rights. And I refuse to be homeless. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be in the streets and have nowhere to go? Well, of course not. So I'll relapse. I'll relapse as many times as I have to so that I have somewhere to go. After all, at least I have somewhere to sleep. And if they don't care if I'm using, then why should I? After all, if I'm using drugs, I'm using alcohol, and I'm getting the treatment I need, and I'm getting a bed to sleep in, why not continue the cycle again every 30 to 90 days? It works for me. It works for them. But it's not right. Is it right? We need to ask ourselves, is it right? I don't believe it's right. I would like to change my life around. but it's nearly impossible. I'm struggling. I'm constantly struggling because these treatment facilities are abusing me. And I demand that something changes. But who am I? I'm just addiction. The therapists, they try to help. They try to do what's right for recovery. They try to empower their clients and encourage them so that they can learn different strategies to cope with this issue of addictions and past traumas, etc. But honestly, they can't do everything. They can't do everything because they're not running the programs. They're just trying to help victims of addiction, of the constant cycle of addiction. But these therapists are not in control. The people that are in control are bigger. They are the ones that are continuing to keep us in the cycle of addiction. People are assaulted all the time. People are sexually abused all the time. People are raped in these facilities. People are drugged. For God's sake, I've been drugged, even when I didn't want to be drugged. I've had people give me an injection without my permission. So, how do we stop this? We can't help but to ask, how do we stop this? It's a serious, serious issue throughout the world. And I know that I started when I was young. I thought I was hanging out and being cool. Oh, let me smoke a little. Oh, let me have a drink. Yeah, not so cool after all. Because my identity has been ripped out from underneath me. I have constant issues throughout my life. I don't know how to raise my awareness. I want to raise my awareness. I want to do something amazing with my life before it's gone. Please, is there anyone that can understand me? Dealing with this issue of addiction has got me a mess. I have no confidence in any change that I could possibly make because the people that I should be able to count on are the ones that are abusing me. These organizations, they focus on trying to make change, but are they authentic? We need to ask ourselves, are they discriminating us? Are they abusing us more and more because all they care about is money? Well, I don't want to die. After all, my friends have died. Everyone I know has died from an overdose, and it's very sad. Well, I am determined to change my life, and I am willing to change my life. I just wish that someone would hear me, hear my cry, understand my lies, understand my whys, and understand why my life is the way it is. I beg of you to take a chance and take a moment to help me and yourself understand that you deserve better, that I deserve better, and that together we can create a change. Don't allow these treatment facilities to take over your identity. Don't allow anyone to run your life. Don't allow them to keep you quiet. Use your voice, speak up. I encourage you to change your life and do what is possible, and that most people think it's impossible. I encourage you to push yourself through, because if you think that I don't know what you've been through, you are wrong, because I am addiction. And I certainly understand what you're going through, and I certainly understand that in order for you to change your life, you will need to surrender. And when you surrender, you will find that you are the biggest person that is there for you. And you will no longer need to turn to these people that are horrible, that are breaking you down and beating you identity down to the ground. You will become that person that you so desire, and that you can still get treatment, and that there are good places out there that provide treatment and that are authentic. There are good treatment facilities out there. Unfortunately, some of them are not the greatest treatment facilities, and they have bad names. Do your research. Make sure that you know exactly what you're getting into and prevent these things from happening to you all over again. And that treatment does work for many people. And you deserve to change your brain. You deserve to change your life. And that you are a beautiful human being. And you deserve the gift of life. You are love. You are beautiful. You deserve to be clean and healthy and transform your life into a beautiful human being. Because you are human, and that itself is your identity. Do not identify yourself with the addiction, because addiction does not define who you are. It's simply a illness that you can overcome. You can change your life by realizing that you are now sobriety, that you are now a new individual, that you have changed your life, that you can make a difference in the lives of others. Because you are a beautiful human being that has impacted people in a different way, in a way that will help you understand that your addictions are what transpired you into this new human being, the new identity that you so desire and that you have searched for years. And that once you overcome this, you will be the light that every other person desires, that is looking for when they are trying to break their addiction cycles. You are the enlightenment that they need. You are the beautiful soul that these people need to change their lives. Allow yourself to grow and come out of the cocoon. Allow yourself to push through these breakthroughs that you can make a change in your life. Allow yourself to overcome these things. Allow yourself to be the one to make the change that no one thinks you're capable of doing. I know you can. I know you can make a change, because my new name is sobriety, and that should be your new name as well. Once you become this person, this sobriety, you will see the miraculous changes begin to happen before your very eyes. You will realize that your thoughts will start to dissipate and that they will no longer control you, because they will have no room in your life to control anything in your life. Because the more you become enlightened and the more you realize that you're sober, your mind will become more clear and more conscious, and you will be able to deliver a new you to the world, and you will be able to transform other people's lives soon after yours transforms. Possibly a year later, which is the recommended time frame. A year later, after you're sober, you will see the clarity you desire, and you will be the transformation that people are waiting for. You are the gift, you are the light. Allow yourself to be that so that you can help other people transform into their new being. They need you. These people need you. There's only one you, and that one you is here to create a change that will be immense for the world. Know that you are unique and different, and that you deserve to help others and help yourself, that you are the miracle in life that people are searching for, and that these treatment facilities that are not doing their part need to be abolished, because here you come. You are here to make that difference, and they need you. These addictive people need you. Make the change, because I'm here to see you change. Welcome to sobriety. You deserve to live life to the fullest and not just die. Welcome to the new you.
The purpose of this film is to create awareness, a positive awareness movement.